Hey guys, thanks for coming on.
Hello.
So this is definitely.
Oh, I have everything on here. Wait, I'm hearing everything double and triple. Hi, Robert. Hi, everyone.
Hey
Hi,
Xanthi,
how are you?
and this
Hey,
is Pop Goes the Stream, and I'm here with my good friend. Hang on, I gotta make sure I get the right.
Xanthi.
Xanthi
I'm
here,
here.
and
Yes.
yeah,
Together with you, Robert, we're going to talk about.
yeah, it's as I was joking earlier that I think we kind of forgot as to whether if we were clear that
Wait,
this. Huh?
we're not going to talk about this?
No, actually, it's about the year 1984, not the book.
Oh,
Maybe
I totally misunderstood the task.
or another way to put it. So yeah, I should have.
No, I'm joking. Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because like after we like decided that that's the topic that we want to talk about, I'm like, I should have been more clear when I had posted. So
If you were expecting a review of the book 1984, we are terribly sorry. We're going to disappoint you. I have the book here, but we're not going to talk about it. Instead, we're going to have a bit more fun, hopefully, or
it'll
something more light. Wait.
it'll definitely be a blast. So it's yeah, I mean, it'd be too much to do the 80s just because a lot has gone on in that era, but
Correct.
84 itself, I mean, there's a lot that went on that year, and I mean, in terms of like movie, music.
Exactly. And when we were doing the research, when I was doing the research, I didn't know that all those were at that year, all those cool, like the best, among the best movies and songs. And I was like, wow, that was an epic year, which didn't remember it at I didn't realize it at the time because I was young. But now it's like, yeah, it's all year ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was kind of funny because like when we were talking about it just before we went on air, it's almost
Mhm.
as to like where you were or when you were back then. People have
Mhm.
different memories of it, just as to like what they thought was either popular or what was their favorite, as to what was then at the time what was favorite.
Correct.
I'll give an example, and hang on,
Let's dig up those memories. Yes, start with the memories.
yeah. So like if we talked about the movies, what I did was we had put together like one of those
Hello, Joseph. Hi.
hey Joseph.
You were just 1 years old, so you don't remember. Okay. I
Ouch.
thought you were a vampire. No, sorry, joke. Uh, well, in retrospect, I'm sure that you have seen the movies that we're going to discuss about today, and I'm sure, I hope at least, that you agree that they are awesome.
Okay, so
Sorry, Robert.
no
Go
worries.
ahead with
I was gonna
the.
just like pull up. This is what we had put together as like a top 10 list, and at the time, and this was
It's
based.
objective to everyone. Like the top 10, number one can be something else for someone else, but it's a nice list.
Yep. So actually, this list was based on the gross domestic box office money that people
Okay.
spend. So it's
It makes
still
sense.
it's still subjective, but this was what they said was the top 10 at the time, and believe me, from what they said was the top
Oh,
10
yeah.
is totally
Mhm.
different than like how I remember it and everything. So they said the one that ranked number one in the box office was Ghostbusters, and then it was Beverly Hills Cop,
Yes. Yes.
and then was the Temple of Doom, and then you had the Gremlins, the Karate Kid, Police Academy, Footloose, the third Star Trek film that, oops, I misspelled that, Search for Spock, Romancing the
Mhm.
Stone, and Purple Rain. Now, and my recollection at that of what I thought was popular, didn't match what's on the list there that you see
What
up
was
there.
it? Tell me, and then I will tell you mine.
Okay. So mine was it's strange because like I didn't see Star Trek uh in the film. Actually I saw it like on VCR when it came out on the
Hmm,
VHS
hmm.
tapes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Ghostbusters was up there. Actually Police Academy was rated R, and actually that's the first rated R movie that I
Mm.
went to with my brother. My dad took us there, so because like back
Back
then,
then, we could watch all the movies.
yeah. I mean, because like I was really big on like comedy and action stuff, so
Mm.
that movie, Ghostbusters, oh, what was the other one? I didn't see Gremlins. I think that was too scary for me at the time. Uh, God, trying to think what was the other movie. So actually, it's you don't see it on the list, but there's a there was a sports movie called The Natural, and that was with Robert Redford. Um, that was um, that was one that I enjoyed. And I remember, I think my dad had also taken my brother and I to see Revenge of the Nerds.
I had one of my glitches, one of my
Okay,
blips.
okay,
But okay, you were on the flow, so good. I couldn't interrupt you anyway.
no worries.
I didn't hear everything you said, but that's okay. If I can just continue, take the lead and continue. What I remember very vividly from this list, as watching it, I was close to it. In '84, I was 5 years old.
Okay,
So, of course, I don't remember watching those films in the cinema.
right,
But the Karate Kid, I think it was one of I mean, I have seen all of them almost.
right.
Um, Not almost. I mean, yeah, I have seen Purple Rain. Oh my god, I haven't seen Purple Rain. No, I no. Romancing the Stone. I'm not sure. I know what that is, but everything else I have seen.
Yeah.
But the Karate Kid is what like the first that strikes me from this list. As a kid, it was closer to my age, because he's a kid or early.
So it was yeah, I didn't see Romancing in the Stone, back then. I don't think I was really interested, come to think of it. I mean, I knew of the film, but I didn't it wasn't one that I saw in the theaters or had, gone to see, even, like, on VCR, so, I mean, I know that it was Michael Douglas and, not Katherine Hepburn, Kathleen Turner, they were the leads of it, and it's almost like a couple version of, like, of Indiana Jones from what I remembered. Um, so it was,
Me still struggling with my technologies. I think maybe Ghostbusters number one due to the graphics and big cast of the film. I mean, yeah, it could make sense. Uh, and I mean, it was a huge hit. It was a huge blockbuster. Well, no, not what do you call it? What is the term that I'm searching for here? Help me.
no, I mean,
Uh,
Blockbuster would be the right one.
Blockbuster. Okay, yeah, yeah. It was huge. I mean, there wasn't. I don't remember anyone not having seen.
Right.
And it was the cast. I mean, of course, Bill. What's his name? Bill Murray
Bill Murray, yep.
and Dan Aykroyd
Yep.
and Sigourney Weaver and the others, which I don't remember, but I know them, famous. In the meantime, I've changed cameras because I think the ZV-1 couldn't have, my computer couldn't have, I don't know. I kept bleeping. So yeah, moving on.
No worries.
Um, so I mean, it's amazing. I didn't know that all those years, all those films,
Mhm.
until we researched it, came out at that year,
Yep.
which makes it amazing. And I'm sorry, where is Terminator?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
Terminator didn't make it onto the top 10 list, I think, back then.
What?
I know.
How is that possible?
So that I mean, again, that was the example of something that, that people
Yeah.
remember fondly, but it didn't even make it into the top 10. I know, like, it was like 22nd on the list. It made about 38 million.
Because in one of the articles that we found, that we saw, 1984, possibly the greatest year in pop culture history. Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Hello, and how old were you? I'm sorry if I may ask. How old were you when in 1984? So here in that list, I have.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how I can share it. It says Indiana Jones. It's Gremlins, Karate Kid, Footloose, Ghostbusters, Red Dawn,
Yep.
and I have a trivia for that. With yeah, Terminator, Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yep.
Beverly Hills Cop, Police Academy, The Never-Ending Story, 16 Candles. Okay, yeah, and more. So I'm like, hello, George. Hi, George. I mean, of course, Terminator for me. Yeah, yeah.
So we also have another person that was one in 84.
So okay, two people that were 1 year. I feel old. Well, I mean, we're not that much older. Okay, we only have like a 4 years difference, so we're not that much old. Yeah,
Right.
or a few months. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you have seen those films later. And oh my God, Gremlins. I'm so looking forward for my son to be old enough to understand it. I mean, we can see it, but uh, I don't know if it's what kind of age is there an age limit now with Gremlins?
Well, let's see. When it came out, wasn't it like PG or something like that, or PG-13? So I would
Yeah, I mean,
think
we
around.
have. I think I have shown him clips, uh, but I don't know. The evil one, might be a
Yeah,
bit spooky for little ones. I don't know, but
but
it's so.
it.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
I mean, yeah, it's weird that what was spooky back then. I mean, now it's like, oh, okay. But I mean, still, I mean, when you're dealing with kids at a younger age, I mean, it still could be one that's could be
That
scary.
is a very
Since
interesting point. That's very because back then, okay, there was a PG or whatever, but
Mhm,
you grew up in the US, I grew up in Greece, Europe, but still, it
mhm.
is common the fact that our parents didn't care as much as parents care now. I mean,
Well, I mean, if you
I
put it that
remember.
way,
I mean, we were just having that discussion. My brother or my sister, who said that our dad he used to take us to the cinema when we were
right?
kids. That was great,
Mhm.
but like we could watch what was his exact word or was my sister all the shit that was on cinema fights like was it violence like a
Yeah,
comedy everything whatever. I mean, I remember going to the cinema also with my mom and my aunts
yeah,
to summer. It's very popular in Greece with summer cinema open, and like every film that it was released, we could see it, and it was not always child appropriate. But and the thing is that I don't feel like I'm damaged
okay.
or like watching Die Hard, and I was like, I don't know how old I was. When was Die Hard out? Wait, let me. I have to Google that
I thought it was like, well,
first.
I'm sure folks can correct me there, but I thought it was like near like the late 80s.
88.
Yeah, so
88. So I was 9 years old. Okay, I was kind of old. Hello, Matt. Hello.
yeah, so
George
I mean,
was two, and then there was before my time. I've seen them all classic movies from my side. Yes, exactly. And yes, hi Matt. 80s baby. Yes, exactly.
you guys kill me. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I did. I mean, it's just kind of strange because I mean, it still kind of throws me that when I saw Ghostbusters in the film, you know how like that scene where oh god, I'm gonna forget. It was well a monster that had attacked Rick Moranis' character before they started um transforming.
Oh,
The gatekeeper and the key. Oh god. But I just remember like I was like a little frightened just because like all of a sudden you see in one moment you see the animal jump on them and then you don't see what happens till like afterwards. So, but now it's like I see it now. It's like, oh, okay, what's the big deal? Okay, got you.
yeah. I mean, I remember I was also a bit spooked with Ghostbusters because there are some scenes that are kind of dark with Gulliver when he's possessed, and with that the guy in the painting. It was a bit. It had a couple of dark scenes. So I was a bit scared, but not too damaging. Not too damaging.
Right.
I
I mean,
I
it's.
guess. I hope.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was kind of discouraging because like all of a sudden you see like the paint move. I'm like, wait a minute. What? I thought it looked
Like
kind of weird.
yeah. Mm.
I mean,
Uh, can we talk about that year? I didn't know that it was also the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I totally didn't see it when it came out. So
Me neither. I think I saw it on TV when it was, years after, and I was like, I don't know, early 90s. I was pre-teen, teen. I
yeah,
was scared. Like I was a bit, oh my God, what is, that was, but it was Johnny Depp. And I was like,
yeah,
oh my God, this is Johnny Depp. It's the same guy that is on 21 Jump Street. Back then, it was just the guy from 21 Jump Street. We should do an episode of the 90s, by the way, since I'm like, right? Pop culture of the 90s.
okay, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
If you want people in the chat or tell us a year. And Nightmare, the Nightmare on Elm Street, it kind of spooked me.
Yeah, I mean, usually like anything that came out like that, I usually wait till when it comes on TV because I know that at least it'll be censored, or at least I don't have to worry about doing this. But
Yeah, or just turn on all the lights in the living room and just have the TV there and maybe do something else. Take a pillow, cover yourself. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Mr. Miyagi was legendary. Yes, it was. Sorry. Yeah.
that's all right. I
Sister.
thought you wanted me to do like a wax on and a wax off.
No. No, it's okay. But yeah, and 1983, please. What happened in 1983?
It was the year before '84.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see if there are any 19. I have to say, I don't think we have a. We have prepared. We have a list of things how to our flow, but I think we're jumping from subject to subject, and it's all my fault. Sorry.
No, no, no. I mean, because like this, I mean, there's a lot that went on in '84. I mean, you could go from like pop culture to what happened in that year. I think it was oh god, hang on.
It's hard to cover everything.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember like what note I had about the.
Come on. Okay. Yes. Enda is right. I mean, do you know what happened in 1983? Return of the Jedi.
Was it '83?
We should know those things, right? Come on. I
Yeah.
don't know. According to Google, that's what it says. So
Well, I know like '84 was the first year that Sony and Philips introduced their first CD players. So that's pretty cool.
no,
Yeah.
in '84,
In '84. Yep.
I had a Sony Walkman, like all the kids back in the '80s, but not the CD.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny because like I remember. Well, it wasn't until like later in the '80s when my brother and I graduated from high school. My late grandfather he bought us one of those, not like a boom box, but it was like maybe like half the size of a boom box and had a CD player in it, and it was like a big deal then.
Oh, wow. Wow. You were ahead.
But it
Or
wasn't until like much later, like I think maybe early '90s, I
mm,
had like one of those compact CD players that you could clip on if you were like the run and stuff. But
in the pocket. Yeah. Like instead of a Walkman, but the CD. Yeah.
yeah, but then I don't know like if it was one where you had like one of those straps you wear on the waist to be able to keep it on so it doesn't fall off. Because it was too big to put in a pocket. So
Yeah. Not a pocket, but like a backpack or maybe in a big jacket with big pockets. Because I remember I had, and my sister had, with back then it was, but now we're going into the 90s. We should do all the decades, all the years. We should do a few years and then we go into the 90s. We should cover everything. Pop
yeah,
culture items, not only, I mean, like gadgets also.
it's crazy stuff. I mean, I mean,
I know.
what was it?
Mm.
I can't remember the year when the Walkman came out, but yeah, I mean, even then, that was a pretty big deal. Even in '84, you just see that the banana yellow color is it? Yeah, the banana color of the Walkman where people would run. You see them with their smaller headphones that plugged in the cassette, and you see them just kind of like running or walking around, whoever is out there. So
Well, at school, we all had those. Not all of us, but it was very common when we were going on a field trip to have the Walkman in the ears, and with the yellow pads. Yes.
Yeah, and then usually like the headband is probably like, I mean, this is pretty thick, but it's like even like barely a quarter of that just goes around your head. Um,
I don't remember that.
it's
Or what do you mean? Was it a special?
oh no, I meant it like the headphones that were, it's just like this, like a really skinny, like a metallic strip that
Oh
goes.
yeah, the metal. Yes, 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 the metallic. Yes, no fancy soft like texture, like no, no, like pillow, like no, no. It was just metallic. Off topic, I guess, but I can't watch the Butterfly Effect still to date. I watched it one night in university and didn't sleep until the sun came up. Butterfly Effect was not that scary. Fun story though. I haven't watched the last 5 minutes. Metal headbands. Metal headbands. Oh my god, I made the connection with metal head banging. I mean,
Well, it's the same thing too. If it cuts in too deep, you're gonna bang your head like ah.
yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, uh, they would catch you. Yes, true, true, true. I
But
mean, it's
yeah,
so fun that we're different countries, different cultures, but still, those things were the same for everyone.
yeah. I mean, we won't get into the fashion wear. That's my weakness there. But
Oh my god, the fashion of the 80s. Oh my god, the colors, the patterns, everything. Oh my god.
yeah, I mean,
And I remember, sorry.
no, go
Yes,
ahead.
go on.
I want to hear what you say. What were you gonna say?
No, like, MTV, and I was a kid. We were kids, me and my best friend Sophia at the time, we were kids.
Mhm.
Maybe not in 84, but a bit later.
Yep.
But it was like MTV, the European, the British MTV. But we were
Yep.
watching, like Bon Jovi, all those hair metal, glam metal, and they were wearing the tights, red tights, and like stars on the t-shirt, and the hair, the permanent, the perm hair. And I was thinking, oh my God, when I grow up, I will be dressed like this also. I'm happy that doesn't happen.
Or as Dave would point out, there's the parachute pants there that I totally forgot about.
The parachute, oh, the MC Hammer. Oh my God.
I just remember, like, for me, it wasn't so much a parachute pant, but it wasn't. I think till like the early '90s, you had like those zebra pants. Oh my god,
Yes. No.
I know.
Let's we can all agree that the fashion was not the best,
Uh,
but
Although,
everything else was cool.
I mean, it was like that year that I guess I didn't notice, or at least it wasn't until like I found out that was '84 was the year when they first had the MTV Music Video Awards, and so that was, I think, when they
It
debuted
was 84.
Madonna's
What?
"Like a Virgin," and you can remember her outfit is very '80s like when in her music video there. I think that's when it was a turning point where like you'd see a lot of people
It,
starting to put a lot of effort into music videos like that.
yeah, let me pull up a picture, or maybe you should put a picture. What is it? Madonna,
Hmm.
Madonna, 1984, like a virgin. The things I'm saying. Um, yeah, it was that like oh, the white lingerie, or what do you call it? Underwear, the white fancy underwear with the hair and the earrings and everything. Classic Madonna. Yeah.
Right. It yeah, I didn't really I mean, a lot of that kind of just went over my head just because I wasn't really fashion conscious back there, other than I just thought, boy, that doesn't look like a wedding dress she's wearing. So that's all I could
No,
recall.
exactly. It was like, is that the wedding dress? No, exactly. I was too young to watch it live at the time. I was only 5 years old, and I don't think we had MTV until, at least in Greece, until 86 or 87, I
Hmm.
think. So
Yeah.
yeah, I watched the reruns.
But
Yes.
while we're on the topic of music, let me pull this up.
Hmm.
This was based on the Billboard's Hot 100
Yeah.
singles. So this is like the top
Yes.
10 singles. So you had number one was "When Doves Cry" by Prince. Tina Turner's "What's Love
Yes.
Got to Do with It." Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson "Say Say Say." Kenny Loggins' "Footloose," which is the same title of the
Hmm.
movie that was out. Phil
Hmm.
Collins "Against All Odds." "Take a Look at Me Now." Van Halen's "Jump," like you mentioned earlier.
Yes,
You
jump.
got
Yeah, exactly.
Lionel
Where is Matt?
Richie's
Yes.
and Lionel Richie's "Hello,"
Hello.
which is a lot of
Yeah.
memes there you would see there.
Yes, 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 yes.
and and the transition from Yes, you have Yes's "Owners of a Lonely Heart," uh,
Great song.
and then
Yeah.
Ray Parker Jr.'s "Ghostbusters" theme song,
Hmm.
and then number 10 was Culture Club's "Karma Chameleon."
It's
So yeah, so
amazing. All those songs. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really think much about the music videos at the time, other than you just hear it on repeat on the radio and stuff. But yeah, it's.
I have to say, if I
Yes,
may interrupt you,
go
like
ahead.
Owners of a Lonely Heart, but yes, it was, I mean, I was a child. I wasn't even a when I saw that, as I said, I don't remember it on 84. Well, we had music TV shows in Greece, of course, but I don't know when I saw it. It must have been after some years,
Right.
because at 5 years old, I don't really know. Um, it has a scene like with snakes when he has. I don't know if you remember the video clip. Do you know the video clip of Owner of a Lonely Heart?
Vaguely, how'd it go?
Well, it's vaguely also, but it's this person, like the singer, or the main character in the video clip. If someone knows more, please let us know. And they take him somewhere. Is it the police or is it some doctors? He has something, and he has like a seizure, like a moment, like shaking,
Yeah,
and it as if he sees snakes in front of him. It's like a flash in the scene. You see a frame with snakes, and then back. Oh, like he has some sort of breakdown. I was like, oh my god, this is like, I was not disturbed, but kind of like, wow, snakes.
yeah.
And I'm not afraid of snakes. Like, well, of course, I would be scared if I see a snake here, but not if I see it on TV. But it was kind of, yeah,
Did they have
that's
like
my story.
did they have a scene like they were like in a like a cemetery or stuff in that same video or
But I don't know. I remember an elevator. I remember. I don't know if someone. George says in the 80s, people were chill and we didn't care how we were dressed that much. Maybe as kids, we didn't really care much, but
I
I
wasn't
mean,
conscious of it,
Van
so
Halen. No, well, that also, but I mean, Jump and Van Halen. He's very flashy in that video clip. Singer,
well they had the
what's
mullet
his name?
to help hide it. Hang on.
Where
You
is
mean
Matt? Matt, the lead singer. Yeah,
for Van Halen?
yeah. I can Google it, of course.
I know it's not Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No, but he has a very nice Jump song by Van Halen, because Van Halen is that the last name of the singer, but uh, singer. Come on.
You mean not Eddie Van Halen?
Andy Van Halen, yeah, that's the singer. But what is created Van Halen? Where is his name? Where are the people that consist of David Lee Roth?
Oh,
Come
David
on,
Lee Roth. Okay.
yeah, yeah. He was flashy. I mean, flash. I don't know, tights, and you wouldn't go out like this on the street.
Oh, yep. I think Christian was saying it was something Roth. So yeah, it was David Lee Roth.
Yeah. Uh, oh, yeah. So yes, Thursday something wrong exactly. Um. Oh, because number two was, but I missed the comments. Sorry, I
That's all
I
right.
don't see the comments from Restream. And hi,
I was
Thursday. Yes,
I was trying to make heads or tail. Like I don't think she
delayed.
meant like the planet Hoth with Star Wars. But then when you said David Lee Roth, like oh she meant Roth. Okay, so
She probably, yeah, something wrong. Yes, it probably means that. Yes. Uh, I mean, okay, great pop culture milestones when it comes to music, and great pop culture milestones when it comes to films. What about games? Video games.
so I thought it was interesting because I remember like Matt had earlier mentioned on a different stream that yeah it was the year when they released Tetris as a PC game that first came out that year, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
And I think it wasn't until like when it came out as a game on Game Boy that it really took off. I mean, it was popular when it came out, but I mean, it just really blew up once you could play it on Nintendo, and it was one of those things where like the music that plays in the background you can't get out of your head.
Do, 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 do. Yes, but wasn't it Tetris also? Wait, because I remember it before. Wait, Tetris on Atari? Was it on Atari? Because I think I might have played it,
If it
but
was, it
that
probably
was
was much
later.
later. I
That
mean,
was later. Mm.
because right around this time,
In '88, when did it came out on Nintendo? Wait,
the console or the Game Boy or
I don't know what you mean.
the console, like the big unit of the Nintendo.
The NES. What was it?
Actually, there was one before the NES, I think. Uh,
Um, well, Tetris. It says it was created by Soviets over in the NES in 1984, and it was released for Game Boy, Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. What was before NES? I don't know. What was before NES? A snake and then a cat in the owners of a lonely heart. Yes, yes, exactly. You remember it also. Um, but it doesn't matter. Yes, I mean, I was playing it wherever, whatever the platform. I love Tetris.
yeah, it's there was, I think, was it I want to say Pitfall, but maybe it came earlier or after. That was a big Activision game that came out for the Atari. Um,
Well, you have here a nice list of video games of 1984. You found it with I don't I. It's a golf for mainly for the Nintendo, as I see it, and tennis, and then it's Karate Champ, and then it's Saber Wolf, Jet Set Willy, Gap Plus. I don't remember that. Then we have Tetris
yeah,
and Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt was pretty big. You'd have like that the big plastic gun. It's like target practice that you would see like in the old carnivals, but instead you play it in your house. Um, I just remember that. Uh, well, I mean, it wasn't like a significant noise, but you know when you would shoot the duck when you hear this whack. So, um, but
Yes. Oh, you're watching it. You're watching it now. Okay. Sorry, interesting. Yes. Um,
but yeah, but yeah, it's right on the cusp before like before. I think
think
that's
I remember the duck hunt. When you made that sound, yes, that the duck like.
yeah. It just like it's almost like you caught it like going in the refrigerator getting food. It's like or it looks like or more like if you hit a bug on the windshield. That's what it kind of looked like when you shoot it and the gets shots like. Or maybe it might have like did like a weird face. I just remember it added like a really weird look when you shoot the duck in the duck hunt game.
I'm looking at the other games that they were released in 1984 from that list that you sent. We have Conan,
Mhm.
Conan Hall, Hall, Hall of Volta, and
Okay.
it has a pixelated Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Karateka, or how do you pronounce it? Better Karateka. Marble Madness, Kung Fu or Kung Fu Heroes.
Oh yes. So
But
Solo Q Legend brings up a good point where they had the duck hunt and the Mario double cartridge. It was one of those things like you'd have a cartridge and it's very elongated, but it has two games on it. So you could play like Duck Hunt on one side, and then if you want to play the other game, you just have to flip it around.
oh,
So it's physically you have to take it out and flip it, but it's just that it's just kind of funny because like nowadays with the console, all you have to do is go back into the menu and switch up the game you're playing. But this was pretty
mhm.
analog, so you really had the much.
Yeah, take it out and yeah. I mean, I'm reading here on that list that it was the game that Deus Ex. It cannot be. It cannot be that game. Deus
Which one?
Ex Machina?
That seemed pretty modern, wouldn't it?
It cannot be the Deus Ex. It must be another series. No, okay.
It's
But it was because it was released in Spectrum, in ZX Spectrum in October 1984 and later converts to MSX and Commodore 64. So definitely not the one that I think.
what? Oh man, the Commodore 64. I remember that. I
You
think
had
that
one?
was our first computer before we upgraded to the Commodore 128. Who knew
Mm.
at that time 64 megs was a lot on the floppy disk, but who knew that's just like that's like
128, even more, dude. Oh my god, yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I used to have like the back then like the monitors were actually like just like a TV, but it didn't have an antenna, so you'd use that to plug it in the Commodore 64 to be able to do your work. And even like after we no longer use the 64, I still have the TV up until like I don't know, maybe the last 10 years, and just use it as a regular TV. All I had to do is hook like a VCR or DVD to play
You
it.
do?
Well, I don't have it now, but it was one that
Okay.
we we uh we we pretty much had a long shelf life just because we could repurpose it for something else. But I totally forgot about that.
Well, that is conscience using, recycling and
Yeah,
not getting rid of old uh, devices. Good, yes.
yeah. I mean, we didn't. I knew like when we no longer needed it, we didn't throw it out. We just I think it was like we donated to Goodwill, and it still had some value because someone else could do the same thing that we had done when we'd used it, which was to treat it as a TV, or you just had to like figure out the right cord to plug it in and stuff. So, seeing back then, it was kind of fun to repurpose stuff, but it's just very clunky.
I'm going through the list of the movies
Okay,
just to just see if I have missed something. Yes, it was a film that I wanted to mention because it was in one of those articles that we were
okay.
reading. Red Dawn.
Oh, did you see the film?
I haven't seen the film. I was like, how have I been? Or maybe let me rephrase it. I might have seen it if it has been on TV at some point. Just while browsing
Yeah,
or not browsing. Back then, we weren't really browsing. We had to s- get up from the sofa and change. You know, but maybe it has been on TV watching. But it is Patrick Swayze,
yeah,
Charlie Sheen, and it is
yeah,
also Jennifer Grey. And
yeah.
Jennifer Grey is the one that plays together with Patrick Swayze Dirty Dancing, which is a few years later.
Right.
So they have collaborated. I didn't know that
Well, there you go.
because I am not as well informed or don't have a good memory. Yeah, that looks like a very good movie.
Exactly. I don't. I think I only saw bits and pieces of it. I think the whole idea of just the fact that it was like playing on the scenario of like what could happen if America got invaded and stuff. So
Yes. Hello, Christy.
hey Christy, and yeah, it was I mean it was like before well I guess it's like a slight modern adaptation about finding treating the Cold War in at that time modern
Mm,
times than what
mm.
was portrayed like in the 60s or 70s. So um
Yeah, so it does sound familiar. So I might have seen, bits and pieces here and there, but yeah. But the cast, amazing cast back then. And Charlie Sheen, he's a kid. My God, he's a okay. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And what it was something else I wanted to say. Oh, but of course, yeah, I forgot it. The Woman in Red was also released that year. The Cotton Club, The
Yeah.
Muppets Take Manhattan, Conan the Destroyer, Dune, Dune.
Yep. I thought that might get your attention.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Friday the 13th, part 4.
And
Was it already 3 parts from Friday the 13th in 84? Really?
yeah, I don't remember that the fourth one. I didn't see the first
Oh my
3,
God.
I think. but yeah, for those that are interested, we did a topic about Dune in an earlier episode that you can catch on our respective YouTube
Correct.
channels that you can check
Mm-hmm,
out there.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, so
mm-hmm.
that was Dune was that's another one of those films that back then, I don't want to say it wasn't popular, but I mean, but it was just one that over time I think it had a following. I know that for its time that when it was released, in terms of the graphics and storytelling, it was one on par with what was being put out there for that genre. Um, oh yeah, I totally forgot about it. Yeah, there's the never ending
What?
story. Um, I know like a lot of people look at
Oh,
that film
hmm?
fondly. I know I'm gonna probably irk some people. I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but I mean, for its time in the story, I mean, it was one that garnered a lot of attention, for sure. Have you seen Never Ending Story?
Yeah, no. So you're not alone. I mean, I see that white dragon thing and it is familiar.
Yeah,
So it's probably one of those things that I have seen here and there on TV where it's interesting. Interesting? Have you seen it? I am sure that if interesting, you're one of the persons that I expect you to have seen it. I don't know. You have, of course, you has. I knew it. Yes. So, but no, I haven't. I haven't. I mean, I'm just here with the classic or the mainstream Ghostbusters, Karate Kid, Gremlins. And here it said this article. Uh, it has like a list of why 10 reasons why 1984 was the greatest year in film,
yep,
and besides, the Ghostbusters and Gremlins premiered on the same day. On the same day,
yeah,
and besides the Terminator franchise and the things Karate Kid we have talked, it says comedy is king, and it is along with high profile comedies like Ghostbusters and Beverly Hills Cop. We saw a number of other comedies like Revenge of the Nerds.
yeah. And I remember like that and yeah, it was that and Police Academy. I remember fondly, and that
I
was
mean,
a film
Revenge
that
of the
my
Nerds,
dad
it was like,
voted on.
I mean, I felt it was the first. I kind of felt sorry for them, but then you don't feel sorry for them because they get their revenge.
Yeah, it was almost like an early story about how the whole idea about like new nerds ruling the world, and that was like the first film people could point to for that type of
Yeah,
theme.
but they made a very not so realistic picture of nerds. I mean, but it was funny. Like, I don't know.
I mean the big character I think people remember was Booger.
Wait, I have to find a picture. I don't remember. I mean, Revenge of the Nerds
But
main
yeah, I mean,
characters. Yes.
but
Yeah,
it's
him. Is
but
it the guy that loves like?
yeah, but the funny thing is like like movies, some like I guess Revenge of the Nerds would be one example where if it played today, it wouldn't play as well as it did when it played back then. So, um,
Oh, definitely not. It will be so not politically correct now. They would be cancelled. They would go to jail if they made a film like that. Well, maybe not go to jail, but the canceling would be instant.
I mean, they'll be definitely torched online for sure. So, let
Oh
alone
yeah.
Twitter. But yeah,
Oh
so like
yeah.
I mean, Solo makes a good point, but yeah, it's just you kind of that's kind of some of the things that you kind of forget about too. That plays the idea that what people remember back then to what they do now, what was fondly remembered or what could be taken totally differently now.
Yes, and that is a very good point because I mean, how can I say it without sounding, without insulting anyone, or without being, I don't know if I am stepping over borderline politically correctness or not, but things, of course, I'm against bullying in any form, right? Of
Yep,
course.
yep,
We don't tolerate bullying in whatever beliefs, preferences, whatever. We should
yep,
all like whatever we like. But back then, the jokes, And the representation of minorities, it was everywhere. It was all over the place. There was
Oh
no
yeah.
political correctness.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it has made me feel less tolerant or more tolerant.
Right.
I think we do have the ability to filter out good and bad, even if a movie is stupid or when silly. And again, okay, of course, some things some things they should definitely, and I agree, shouldn't be represented in the movies anymore.
Right.
Definitely there are things that, yes. uh, but the film like the nerds, I don't know. I would have liked it. I guess, I suppose, but I'm speaking probably strictly nostalgic here, I
No,
guess.
no. I mean, my brother makes a big point that it's problematic now, but back then the irony is that the how at the time it was hailed as inclusive just because they're bringing them in the film, but how it's portrayed, it's just a totally
At the time,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, good point. George is a fan of Timothée Chalamet, which I cannot pronounce. It's French, from Dune. So
Yep.
he's a fan. So he's biased. He's awesome. Yeah, he was awesome actually. Yeah.
And Josh mentions
Mm.
that the last Starfighter came out in 1984. I haven't seen that in its entirety, but that was it's just
Wait,
yes.
wait. The Last Starfighter. I know this. I know this. I should know this. The Last Star.
I mean, it's an excellent concept. I for the life of me, I don't.
What?
Yes, yes.
I haven't seen it, and it's
It's
one
a
of the films that I would love. Yeah.
I think you enjoy it. I can't remember it other than the subject matter, and it's my memory spotty. But I think it's one that you enjoyed.
Definitely.
I think Lou Gossip Jr.
I
is in that.
mean, I don't know. It's familiar faces. As I said, it's probably something that I have seen in front of me on TV at some point. But as a kid, I probably didn't pay much. I don't know. And of course, back then the TV was always on. There was no screen time
Yeah,
limitations. I was watching TV without any. Well, maybe I don't know, but
I
I
mean,
don't know.
there's a
Yeah,
lot to choose from. So
yeah.
as we clearly know that there's only so much that people can watch. But I mean, for its time, I mean, there's a lot. It's definitely a lot of variety that came out in that year. So, um,
Mm-hmm. Definitely, definitely. Yeah. I say I'm lucky. I say we should be feeling lucky that we were born at an age that we could experience the 80s and 84 as we did, that
yeah,
we are, if I may say, I don't know if it's politically correct or not, an old fart that we experienced live without the internet.
yeah.
Does it translate well, or is it something we only say in
No,
Swedish, being an old fart? No, it goes, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Or do
no.
we
I
say
mean,
that?
it
In
translates
I don't
well.
know.
I mean, you
Okay,
say it
yeah,
better
yeah,
than I
good.
would.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah, with like old people.
Well, no, it's just like I mean,
Uh,
I remember like before we had the internet, your PlayStations, your Xbox, what have you. I mean, pretty much it's just your imagination, just the ability to go outside and play with your colleagues. I mean, it's you can't. I mean,
mhm. No, yes, yes, I'm listening.
yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, now I'm starting to see like kids starting to play outside, but before like it's not uncommon. Like my brother and I would go out and we try to play wiffle ball and try to make sure we didn't break our neighbor's window with an errant hit. We definitely lose a
Yeah,
lot of
I mean,
balls in the trees.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, it's not like I don't see kids playing out nowadays. And we had an episode with Thirsting also about screen time from a mom perspective, that we don't really limit our kids prospectively. I mean, of course, it's not like I give him the iPad or forever.
Yeah,
Um, but it's I'm not like you have 1 hour and that's it. No, 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 no. He can just chill out. And I remember that I had that freedom also. I mean, I could watch TV, but then I decided myself I was out, of course, a lot more. But then again, of course, we had gadgets at the time, maybe not as much as today, but of course, we had our consoles or the arcade gadgets, Atari, whatever.
Yep.
But I don't think we should be so bad on kids nowadays because where I live, we have kids here. And of course, even with the current technology, I see them, they are out. And my son, he wants to go out when he hears kids and he wants to play. So we shouldn't doom kids. We just,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of
yes,
it's.
embrace the. Mm,
Oh no, I mean, a lot of it is
uh,
both that and just the environment is like how close you are to resources, whether it's being at the park or if there's kids in the
True.
area. So,
True. That's a difference. Yeah, that's something. Yes, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, true.
but
Mm.
yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, it goes both ways. Like, if you don't have the environment or if kids nearby, then it's cool that people have technology or such to play games or to connect. And then when there is like a like for me, there's we have a park that's like about a 5 minute walk from us. So,
Mhm.
so we're fortunate that if we want to go out, we could do that. But then again, uh, I'm not. It's it's not uncommon for me to be glued to the TV set for Saturday morning cartoons. So
Oh my God, me too. I mean, of course, of course. Of course, we adults also. I mean, I want to stay just. There are days I just want to browse brainless on TV. You know.
yeah, what's amazing is that then at that time it's harder to find the cartoons on reruns just for the fact that it only comes out Saturday. So it's almost like if you missed it that day,
Oh yeah, you had to be on Saturday morning on TV waiting for them to come. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
But it's what's even funnier now that there's YouTube and there's endless of sites of sources for cartoons that uh
Yeah.
I'll admit I generally like to go on YouTube and just kind of remember which cartoons I missed out. Um Especially like those ones that have like the cliffhangers and you don't remember how it turns out. Just go on
And
YouTube and
just,
just
I mean, you do it now, or you watching now? Even on Saturdays, you wait for the cartoons on Saturdays,
oh,
or
I meant
like as you were growing up as a kid.
well, as a kid, I mean, they didn't have YouTube back then, so I had to wait till like whenever it came on.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I sometimes like I'll like try to think back, like, wait, I don't remember how that went out, and I'll just go on YouTube and it's like, what's that cartoon
Yeah, yeah.
called? So it's kind of
Mm.
funny is the amount of resources now make it easier for kids to find a lost episode or just figure out even like
True.
find the synopsis of what it was.
Well, I don't know about other kids, but at least my kid, he doesn't really watch TV, like live TV.
Right,
Everything is on demand. Besides YouTube,
right,
things shows that are on TV on regular times. We just log in and he watches them on demand. So yeah,
exactly. So it's
yeah, different times. We are 84 kids. We are the kids of 1984 or the 80s. So
yeah,
different.
different time and definitely different options for sure. That was made
Mm,
available, but
exactly.
I don't remember what.
But I don't know. I'm trying to find a question to ask the chat. But if is there something from 1984 that you remember, like any favorite movies of the movies that we talked about? Tell
Yeah,
us.
or even if things that we haven't talked about much, like TV shows or cartoons, or maybe
Mm.
some music that the titles that we hadn't mentioned earlier that jumps out.
Y- Yeah, we didn't cover TV shows. What were in TV shows of the 1984?
So okay,
A Team, the A Team.
yeah, the A Team.
Wait, wait. We have also the Apple Computers famous ad 1984 that launches the Macintosh computer line. It happened as
Yep,
an historical pop culture event. Oh my God.
yep. I know. Like then, I think was the beginning of the Thursdays. Pardon the expression, like the killer lineup. I don't think they coined must see TV, or maybe they might have. At the time, you'd have Cheers, Cosby Show, It was before
Knight
Seinfeld.
Rider.
Yeah, I don't think Knight Rider's on the Thursday night lineup.
Well, it
But
says
yeah,
some other prime time shows that we were watching. We are reading from an article here, and it says Family Ties, Cheers, as you said, Knight Rider, A Team. I love the A Team.
yeah,
And
we had.
oh my God, on the Saturday, the cartoons has Transformers, Fraggle Rock, Inspector Gadget, Voltron. I loved Voltron.
Yeah, for me it was like the Super Friends. I'd watch. Um,
Super Friends. I have to Google to see the picture. Which one was that? Because we might translate it different. Or Super Friends.
I think it was just
Ah,
the
those Super Friends. Just
yeah.
all the American, the American uh, Superman and everyone else. I'm
Yeah.
just reading here. American animated television series. Yes. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't think was like He-Man out at
Well,
that time.
they
GI
they
Joe.
didn't. Oh, He-Man and She-Ra and the Masters of the Universe.
I
When
think
they
Sheer
didn't
was a
have
little bit
Dragon
later.
Ball, maybe, yeah. George says when they didn't have Dragon Balls because of some random political event, it would be pissed. Ah, like they stopped the broadcast to show something. Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah,
But that must be later, also like 90s or late 80s.
yeah. That's before they came up with the Pip idea, where if a late breaking news would show, it'd be like the main screen, and then whatever you're watching down below, but you didn't hear the audio. But it's still not the same where you can't see and hear everything when that
They do
happens.
that. They did that at in US.
Not new. Well, I think it was much later when they came up with that concept, but it would have came in handy if they did that for cartoons for sure, because you just totally miss it because it would just be preempted for whatever the breaking news that was
Yeah.
happened at that
Mm.
time.
As you say, it's so many things, and it's hard to cover everything, really. And because I just go on the list, Cabot Patch Kit. It was too. Uh, Masters of the Universe as a toy. It was toys. Yeah. Okay. Uh, mm. I don't think we will stop talking, and we have been talking for an hour, which
Have
I
we?
didn't really feel it this time, to be honest.
Oh, got one question here before we go. What do you folks think about the monetization of nostalgia? So many ideas from the 80s have been brought back up again. So it's an interest.
Example?
So
It is.
So I know, like with so the one recent example I can think of is like with Netflix, they had relaunched the He-Man cartoons, and
Oh, that, yeah. I have to take off
yeah,
my
so
glasses. Yes.
naturally it's a big play with like launch the new toys, but I mean for the fact that at least I knew uh I think Kevin Smith was the main writer for the recent
Hmm.
release of the He-Man. That at least you know that they would pay attention to the detail in terms of the storytelling of it. So, I mean, so even though some of it's kind of blatant in terms of how they monetize it, I mean, as long as they're making the effort of putting a good show in front of it, it's cool. But yeah, I mean, there's some you can kind of tell as to whether it's a little bit lopsided, where they're just doing it for the big cash grab than it is to put something cool to watch. So
I wouldn't want to watch actually He-Man and She-Ra now as a modern adaptation. For me, it wouldn't have the same, even if it's a great show. I'm like, no, I'm in denial. No. Mm.
I was a sucker. I'll admit I did watch it. So to their
Robocop.
credit, they I mean they did
Mm.
monetize as to the times of today in terms of the storytelling. So I'll give them credit for that. The
Hmm.
big controversy was that most of the emphasis was on the not I guess you say the secondary character than it was for He-Man. But I think the way how the story told it made sense, so it didn't bother me as much as others. So, but
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, it was clearly different than how it was portrayed in the
Back
earlier
then.
times.
Yeah. I was watching Shira a lot, and I was a bit sad, a bit with the story. It was the story, the plot was kind of intense.
Yeah, Too intense for your taste?
I mean, not too intense. No, no, it was. I really, really liked it. Like with her mother, or um, the witch that was her mother. I have to. This is one of the great examples where I would go back to YouTube to rewatch it to remember exactly what happened. I just remember it was kind of, yeah, intense.
You mean in terms of the scene or
Yes,
like
and
Easter eggs?
no, like the story, the plot. It was kind of very, very interesting, like a plot twist. Like, oh my god, what is happening? Yeah. So yeah, one of the comments, I think it was when we asked what films of the year we liked. It was a RoboCop. I saw RoboCop coming up on the comments. So yeah, of course,
Yep.
RoboCop. Mm.
Yeah, that was yeah, it said RoboCop. Yep. I
But
had to
it's
make sure.
1980
Was it
RoboCop. It's later.
was it 85 or 86 or I can't
87.
remember. 87, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I know like the sequels wasn't the same as the first, but
Mm. Typical case of bad sequels, I guess. Or yeah. Anyway, it's getting late here for me in this side of the world. It's 10 p.m. So what do you say? Should we wrap things up?
yep, I
Or, uh,
like you, I just lost track of time and I'm like, "Ooh, yeah, better get you going."
yeah.
But I can't thank enough to thank everyone for hopping on. I mean, it's a lot of fun, especially to hear others' memories and what folks thought of at the time. Cuz it was
Yeah.
it's definitely a blast from the past for sure.
And let us know in the comments if you want us to talk about another era or year or period or decade or whatever with cool milestones, pop culture milestones. Um, and I mean, we will definitely do at some point, I guess, right? 90s, something from the 90s. We should do 90s,
Yep.
right, Robert? Or
Yeah, I mean unless you had a specific year for the 90s, I'm game.
uh, no, we will do our research and see.
Yeah. So if people have a specific year in mind, let us know. Just drop a suggestion in the comments. We'd definitely love to hear what
Yes.
folks are interested in.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
it's safe to say, like the '90s, my memory might be a little bit fresher than it is in the '80s.
Well, I can say Beverly Hills, right?
Right.
Like
Oh,
the TV, yeah, the TV show with
right. With Eddie Murphy. Like,
no, no, not that, not the cover. Well, that is in the 80s, but that's also
but he had a
talking
sequel.
about 19. With Brandon and Dylan and Kelly and those.
Well, they could still laugh like Eddie Murphy if they want to, but just be different.
Well, if they want to, I guess. But yeah. Good night. I'll watch the beginning that I missed on Rob's channel. Okay, great. Thank you so much. But yes, guys and girls, thank you so much for joining us. And please let us know if you want something, if you have questions or any comments from the 84 that you want to tell us, share with us in the comments, or what to take. Yes, 90s, of course. We will do the 90s. Okay,
Okay.
it's a deal. Artfully Blind with Diana. We
Right,
will
Diana.
make it. Yes,
We'll make
Diana.
it happen.
Yes.
I don't think I have my Benetton shirt. I still can't find my members only jacket. So, uh,
Oh, you're talking 90s now. Okay, cool. Yes, okay. We will make it
all right,
accordingly. We will, yeah. Okay. Okay, we should wrap it up,
ready to
and
wrap up.
yeah, and our next show, it's we don't know yet, but roughly in a month, right?
Yep. So when I mean, I'd say tentatively. I mean, I know we generally have been doing it every first Thursday of each month. So I'd say tentatively the 5th. But as we get closer to the time, we'll, as they say, lock in the date.
Because I'm the one that is messing up with our schedule and organization. That can work on Wednesday. Maybe we do Wednesday,
No worries.
but we will
I'm
let you know.
yeah. I mean,
I mean,
what's Sorry, go ahead.
We are interrupting each other. Sorry, we're trying to speak. I just wanted to say that make sure to follow us, respective me or Robert or both of us, in our social media that are in the description below and everything. So because we post updates, so that you don't miss next show.
Yep. Just because we just have to take account for different time zone, and like they say,
Yeah,
life happens. Just we have different things going on behind the scenes, so that's why, unlike other shows where they have like a specific date and time, ours is a little bit different, where it's a little bit like a moving target, just based on how things are going.
unstructured. I'm the one. I'm to blame. I
No,
take responsibility for
not.
that.
No, you're not to blame. I mean, I'm equally I have the same challenge too, so it just works out that
Mm,
we
mm.
structure it that way. So, um, oop,
But we aim for the first week of every month, beginning. So 4th or 5th of May, something like that. May the 4th. It has to be then.
I think Christian says not the first Wednesday in the month.
Oh right. No, it's please not first Wednesday in the month. That's the Viking Woody Hangout. Okay, but it's before. It's before we.
we'll, we'll
Okay.
we'll figure it out, guys.
So
Don't worry.
we will figure it. Yes, yes, we will figure it out.
So this is actually kind of like a
Okay,
behind the scenes of the type of discussion we have before the show as to sorting out schedule.
correct.
So you're getting a little preview
Mm,
about that right now. So, but we'll
exactly,
get it everything sorted
exactly.
out, folks, as to when we'll have the show. So
Yeah,
don't
we will
worry,
let you know.
Kristen.
We will not drag
We'll
it up
figure it out.
here. Yes, exactly.
So,
Okay.
and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for the third time, and yeah, stay tuned for updates for our next show.
Yep. And was it? How's that go? Like, if you like the show, and if you know others that would love to watch the replay, if you can share. If you like the show, hit the like button. I had a graphic, but I had to go old school and just go. So, um,
Exactly. Good one.
s- so yeah. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. If you missed earlier, you can catch it on the replay either on our respective uh social channels or on the website on ShaLaLaLa Productions. We have a dedicated page of past episodes that we archive of Pop Goes the Stream that you can catch. And
Mm-hmm.
again, this is Pop Goes the Stream. I'm Robert, and I'm here with.
Xanthi?
And just thanks for watching. Be well, stay safe, and thanks again.
Yes. Bye bye, everyone.